What did ancient humans do at night? By my boy Zen. Let's check it out.
Tonight, when the sun goes down, you're going to flip a switch.
Okay.
Light will flood the room, and you won't think twice about it. But
True.
for 99.9% of human history, that switch didn't exist. When the sun
All right, let's make a prediction first. Let's make a prediction of what we think is going to be what ancient humans do at night. Now, what we have to think is it's not going to be something obvious, right? It's not just going to be like, oh, they're going to sleep. Because there are logistics to being awake at night, right? Now, when we think about that, one, it's cooler. So maybe people just enjoy the fact that there's, cool weather. Two, it's in some aspects easier to hunt because animals are, sleeping and stuff like that, right? So maybe there's an advantage to hunting food. There's, what else could there be? What else could be like a big reason? I mean, it's peaceful maybe. Maybe they have time to like write. They have time. I don't know. I don't know what this could be. If this is just some video and it's like, yeah, they slept, I'm going to be pissed.
sunset, the world went dark. You couldn't even see your own hand in front of your face. But modern humans almost never experience this. For over 300,000 years, every single one of your ancestors spent roughly half their life in near total darkness.
That is true, I guess. Like I didn't kind of, it was complete. It was dark. So I guess that too is like there had to be light sources, right? There wasn't electricity. So like they had to make fire, right? If you wanted to have light during the night, you would have to spend time making light, whether that be temporary or, long lasting throughout the night. You also had to make heat. You also had to, there's a bunch of things you had to do. So that is some more stuff as well.
They didn't even have candles for most of that time, just the black sky, the stars, and whatever fire they could keep alive. So what did they actually do for all those hours? The answer changes everything we think we know about sleep, storytelling, and what it means to be human. Let's start with fire, because fire is the reason any of this was possible.
True.
The earliest solid evidence of humans controlling fire comes from Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, roughly 1 million years ago.
That's cool knowledge. I didn't know we knew where like the first fire was. How is that even possible? You just test the chemicals, the molecules, the matter, and you just test how long it's been there, I guess. That's crazy. Imagine that being if that's really the first campfire, that's aura. Imagine being the first, Homo sapien to make fire. What? That's insane.
But fire didn't just keep people warm. Fire completely restructured the human day. Before fire, our ancestors were like every other primate. When the sun went down, you climbed a tree or found a sheltered spot and you stayed still. Moving at night meant becoming food. Our eyes are terrible in the dark compared to the predators that hunted us. Leopards, hyenas, wolves, all of them could see just fine. Fire changed that equation.
You know what that makes me wonder is when... Because obviously this is impossible to measure, but I wonder when we became the top of the food chain. Because at some point in terms of what he's talking about right now, before fire, we had no advantage at night. So there had to be animals around them that knew they were vulnerable at nighttime. But when did that change? That's crazy.
Equation overnight. Literally, a campfire creates a circle of safety roughly 30 feet in diameter.
That makes me think of Don't Starve Together. What a great game. You literally have to be in the fire because in the darkness, there's a monster that will just grab you. You literally have to be in the light at nighttime. That's so sick.
Inside that circle, predators won't come. Outside that circle, you die.
It's not that set in stone. Not an exaggeration. It's a little bit of exaggeration. Animals will go up to that. But I see your point.
is not an exaggeration. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups have documented that people who wander away from the fire at night are significantly more likely to be killed by predators.
True.
Even today. But here's what's fascinating. Fire didn't just protect humans at night. It gave them something they'd never had before. Extra hours. Think about this. Before fire, the useful day ended at sunset. That's maybe 12 hours in summer, as few as 8 in winter. Fire suddenly added 2 to 4 usable hours to every single day. And over thousands of generations, those extra hours changed our species. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Wiesner published a study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. She spent years recording conversations among the Jew/Huansi Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last groups on Earth still living something close to the original human lifestyle. She found was striking. During the day, about 80% of conversations were practical. Who's hunting where? Which plants are ready? Complaints, logistics, economic negotiations. Daytime talk was work, but at night around the fire, the entire character of conversation changed. At night, 81% of conversations were stories.
Wow. 81% of people's conversations were storytelling, talking about, what they did that day, what happened. Because think about it, that's also true, is like, you get free time. There wasn't free time. You woke up, you went out, hunted, whatever you did, came back, and you went to sleep and did it again. But now you had time to relax. You could take off an hour. You could chat. And that's how it all started, bro. That probably builds connection and stuff too, right? Like it's like that definitely like, oh my God, that's so just like because you got to think that it makes them all just smarter over time because they're gaining more knowledge.
Tales of people in distant places, adventures, myths about the origins of the world, jokes that made the whole camp laugh. Weisner argued that firelight conversation is where human culture was born. The campfire was the original theater, the original classroom, the original church. It's
the original everything. That is so true. It really was the meeting spot. It really was, because think about it. Why would you sit anywhere else? Why would you choose to be in the dark when everybody else is by the fire? It's warm. It's safe. There's people. They're chatting. Sure, I bet somebody enjoyed not being a social. I'm sure that's where social anxiety probably develops just as much. But like, wow, that's crazy. It really was the everything spot. Literally.
It's where humans learned to think beyond the immediate present and imagine things that don't exist yet. It's where we became us. But the night wasn't just about stories around the fire. There was something else happening, something that scientists only rediscovered in the last 30 years.
Oh?
We were not designed to sleep the way you sleep right now. In 2001, historian Roger E. Kirch published a paper that changed sleep science. He had spent 16 years digging through historical records and found something nobody expected.
What?
Over 500 references, spanning centuries, prayer books from the 1400s, court records, diaries, medical texts, letters from ordinary people, even passages in Homer's Odyssey. All of them mentioned the same thing: first sleep and second sleep.
What? Okay. I mean, we've all seen The Hobbit. We all know about, first dinner, second dinner, whatever, third dinner. But first sleep, second sleep, what? Wait, I gotta hear this.
Before the industrial age, people did not sleep in one continuous block.
Really?
They went to bed shortly after sunset, slept for about 4 hours, then woke up. They stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night. Then they went back to sleep for another 4 hours until dawn.
Why?
This wasn't insomnia. This was normal. This was how every human on the planet slept for thousands of years. And what did people do during that wakeful period in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Everything. A 16th century French physician recommended that couples conceive children during this window because they would do it better. People visited neighbors. They interpreted their dreams while they were still fresh. They wrote. They simply lay in bed in the dark and
Okay,
thought.
but what time? Did he say what time? Like, what time is that? Is that like 1 a.m., 2 a.m.? It's just a vibe hour?
Manual from the 1500s advised patients that the best time to study and reflect was during the watch, as they called it. The quiet hours between first and second sleep, when the mind was calm and the world was still. Now,
somebody had to sleep in. We can't act like somebody didn't sleep in. You know damn well there was at least one person out there who slept that full, 8 hours, right? Like, I know somebody slept in. They were slapping him on the face. Get up. We gotta go hunted.
These references for centuries, but they kept translating first sleep as something else because they couldn't imagine that people ever slept differently than we do now. The assumption was so deep that translators literally mistranslated ancient Greek and medieval Latin to make it fit their modern experience. But then science confirmed what history had been saying all along. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware at the National Institute of Mental Health ran an experiment. He took a group of volunteers and removed all artificial light from their lives. For 1 month, they experienced 14 hours of darkness every night.
Dude, that's so, dude, the subject experiments that you like hear about, read about in movies and documentaries and all this stuff, like there's so many, I don't even have to say them. Terrifying. I could never whether it's money, whether it's this, whether it's that. How do you subject yourself to 14 hours in the dark? In the dark. Not, dude. Oh my God. Isn't that worse than a white room? I don't know. I think that's because those are, two large, quick things when you think of just insanity. Where would you not, you wouldn't want to sit in a box that's completely pitch black, nor would you want to be in a box that's all white. All white, you can't distinct, you know what I mean? But it's I think the darkness is more torture because you just can't see shit. You start hallucinating damn near. That's insane. Dude, what's going to happen?
Just like our ancestors would have before fire extended the evening. Within weeks, every single participant settled into the same pattern. 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness, then 4 more hours of sleep. Nobody told them to do this. Nobody suggested it. Their bodies just did it, as if some ancient program had been waiting inside them the whole time, buried under centuries of artificial light.
Well, obvious. It's because we're in a simulation, duh.
Ware measured their hormone levels during the wakeful period and found something remarkable. The participants were in a state unlike any normal waking state. Their brains were producing elevated levels of prolactin, the same hormone released during meditation and after orgasm. They described feeling peaceful, reflective.
Okay, this is weird. You know why? Because I just thought about this. Wait, this is weird. Chat, I've low-key been living this kind of style, but not intentionally, and I understand it. Wait, I need to talk about this. Okay, so what's been happening very briefly is I get really tired in the evening. It'll be I don't know, 8 o'clock, right? I'll go to sleep. Oh my God, I'm actually living this lifestyle. Wait, I will go to sleep, not intentionally. It's just because I'm super tired. Or it's after stream, after eating, it's almost 8 o'clock. I lay down. I sleep for almost 4 hours. I usually wake up around midnight. I'm up for an hour to 3 hours. I go back to sleep, and then I wake up at 8 in the morning. Oh, my God. And I kid you not. I've literally had conversations with, my mother about how I felt good during that time. I didn't have pains. I wasn't stressed. My stomach wasn't hurting, whatever. That's trippy. That's weird. Wait, I'm living the real sleep life. By the way, I feel like I have to show this because it's going to be, I think people are going to see it in frame. I have this fucking stress toy grip fidget thing that is a pilot stress grip, okay? So if you see it, don't freak out. I'm not holding the 9. It's just a stress grip, okay? And I'm not stressed. It's more of a fidget. I should call it a fidget. But I always feel like I have to tell people about it because then they'll just see me holding this grip and it's bro, what are you holding? That's actually insane that I've been living this lifestyle of this.
Almost meditative. It wasn't just a gap in sleep, it was its own distinct state of consciousness, one that most modern humans have never experienced.
I have.
So what killed it? The answer is simpler than you'd think. Light. In the 1600s, cities began installing street lamps. Paris was one of the first under Louis XIV, who wanted to reduce crime. London followed. The night, which had been a place of danger and fear, slowly became navigable. Then came cheaper candles. Then gas lamps in the 1800s. Then, in 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the electric
Edison
bulb, and within a generation, the night as humans had known it for 300,000 years was gone. And here's the part nobody talks about. The word curfew comes from the French couvre-feu. It literally means cover fire. In medieval towns, a bell would ring at night signaling everyone to cover or extinguish their fires. Not because of safety, because night was supposed to be dark. Night was when you
What, dude? I'm learning so many facts today. We've been watching so many videos, YouTube, over on the live stream. This is not the first video of today. I've learned so many things. I'm learning the real definition of curfew. I thought parents made that up just to get their kids back inside from the neighborhood. This is a real thing?
You slept. Night was when you were vulnerable. For most of history, being out at night was suspicious. In many medieval European cities, walking outside after dark without a lantern was literally illegal. Night belonged to criminals and the supernatural. People feared it in a way that's almost impossible for us to understand today. And then we conquered it. We flooded it with light, and we thought that was...
Dude, because imagine, we all get scared. Okay, I know everyone right here in chat, everybody watching this video, we've all had that moment where you turn the corner and you see your pitch black bathroom, your pitch black closet, right? Or it's late night. You're trying to go down in the kitchen at midnight and it's pitch black, right? We've all had that moment and we get those chills. Imagine that just every night, everywhere around you. You literally can't see past your fingers unless there's light around you.
Progress. But here's what we lost. Modern humans are exposed to artificial light an average of 7 to 8 hours after sunset. This light, especially the blue light from screens, suppresses your body's production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Your body doesn't know the difference between a light bulb and the sun. When light hits your retina at 11 p.m., your brain interprets it as daytime. It delays melatonin release. It fragments your sleep. It disrupts the circadian rhythm that evolved over millions of years. Researchers have found that people who go camping for just 1 week with no artificial light at all have their melatonin cycles reset by nearly 2 hours. Their bodies start producing melatonin at sunset instead of hours after it. That's all it takes for 300,000 years of programming to reassert itself. We didn't just change when we sleep. We eliminated an entire phase of human consciousness. That quiet, reflective state between...
I'm telling you, it's a real thing, chat. And I think other people have... I think all of you, like I said, if you're watching this video... You're hearing this, like you've probably experienced that, right? You know, it's late night, it's early morning, like, and you're in your flow state. It's early morning, you're cozy, you're playing video games, you're writing in your journal, you're reading your book. Me, I'm editing videos. That's when I get, like, statistically, that is when most of my editing gets done, is at midnight or in the morning. Because I'm just a morning person, so that's kind of my thing, is that morning, right? But I feel like everyone definitely experiences, but that is so trippy to learn about, because like I've definitely been experiencing this in a way.
First and second sleep, the state that Ware's subjects described as peaceful and meditative, doesn't exist anymore for most people. Instead, we have insomnia, and we treat it like a disorder. But what if it's not a disorder at all? What if waking up at 2 a.m. and lying there in the dark isn't your body malfunctioning? What if it's your body remembering what it was built to do? For 300,000 years, your ancestors spent their nights in a rhythm that modern science is only beginning to understand. They gathered around fires and told stories that built civilizations. They slept in 2 phases with a window of quiet reflection in between. They lived in darkness so complete that the Milky Way wasn't something you had to drive to a national park to see. It was just the sky. And every night when they woke in the dark between first and second sleep, they lay there in silence and thought about their lives, their dreams.
I wonder if that's when they did a lot of those like drawings on the walls and stuff. If that was at nighttime in like the cave. Because I don't know who was drawing on the walls in like the caveman eras and stuff, right? But I can imagine that it was probably at those hours, right? Because you want to spend your daytime doing something. So that's always interesting to kind of think about.
And the world they would wake up to in the morning.
Wow.
We traded
W video, man.
all of that for a light switch. And most of us never even knew it was gone.
W video, bro.